Hey everyone, Vanessa Hogel here. You're getting the studious version. Sorry, had to take my contacts out. My eyes needed a break. So, got my John Lennon specs on. At least that's what I call them. I've had quite a few questions lately on remote viewing and such. And one really good one in particular that was sent to me, hi y'all, on my way home from work, and I told her that I would address it. So Katie, if you're watching, hi love, this one's for you. Her question was, and I thought this was really brilliant. It was a really good way to look at it. Talking about being a sensitive and wanting to help other people and wanting to know what the difference was between remote viewing and just getting impressions of things and being able to sense things. And if you are able to do the latter, how do you project that on to being a remote viewer slash medium, whatnot? Hi y'all. Oh, thank you. This is my smart look. Okay. Just being able to see helps a ton, right? Hi y'all. Hi Tina. Hi Tammy. Hi Greg. Hi Patricia. Hi everybody. Mwah. Big kisses. Hi Lorna. Y'all, she's from Scotland, watching me all the way from Troon. Anyway, I thought this was a really good opportunity to just kind of broaden that remote viewer horizon for just a moment and let people know exactly what it entails. And here's the thing, so I got to get a little bit more comfortable here. What Katie was explaining on her question was, hi Diane, honey, hi Joe. What Katie was talking about on her question, what I told her is I said, you're actually remote viewing. I said it might not seem like it because it might be different than the way I do it. You know, I mean, a lot of times, yes, when I'm remote viewing, I can see the person perfectly. You know, sometimes I can't. Sometimes I'll get a still shot of them or an image from them, you know, just kind of like caught in the moment. Or sometimes it's just behind my eyes, you know what I mean? Hi Pam, darling, love you. But regardless, even what Katie's getting, that's remote viewing. If you are able, when you're speaking to somebody, and they're asking for help, and they're wanting to know what's going on in their house and everything else, and you're not anywhere near them at the time. I mean, you're in another state, in another town, you know, in another country, and you get an impression, that is remote viewing. Especially if the impression that you're getting is intelligent. You know, if they are able, hi Denise, if whatever spirit you're getting the impression of is able to interact with you, even a little bit. It doesn't mean, now when I say interaction, let's keep in mind, I'm not saying that the interaction has to be where they're sitting down next to you and they're telling you all about their life. It doesn't have to be that. Doesn't have to be that. Intelligent interaction can just be the answering of a single question. Now, they could answer that question verbally, or if you are asking a question to try to understand better what's going on inside the home, and they give you a visual representation in your head of what they're wanting you to know, that is intelligent interaction. That is something that you can build on, because once that happens, once they provide you with that information, you can ask additional questions. You can dig deeper. You can follow that trail of breadcrumbs in your mind and verbalize to them what you want to know. It doesn't mean you're sitting here in your living room talking to somebody 5 states away and you're asking questions out loud. And I think that's where a lot of this really does get confusing for people. I do. I think this is where it gets confusing, because when we talk about remote viewing, or when we talk about being a psychic or a medium, we automatically, and we can't help it, we automatically get that, hi Mark, we get that image in our head of what TV is shown as it's supposed to be. And I'm here to tell you folks, it couldn't be further from the truth. It doesn't work that way. I mean, at least for myself and for any of the practicing legit ones I know, it doesn't work that way. But when you do get that information, it's what you do with it that makes a difference. And you don't have to do things the way I do. They're right for me. They might not be right for you. That's totally okay. You have to find what resonates with you. If it works better for you to communicate via, I know, right, Mark, blah, TV. If it works better to, when you're remote viewing, to write your questions down in a notebook, and immediately receive the answer in your head and write down the answer, and just put it Q and then A, Q, A, Q, A, so you can keep a record, that's still remote viewing. It really is. It doesn't, and or sometimes you might not get it in verbal form. They might give you images. So, if you're more artistically inclined and you can draw them out, that's great. If you're not artistically inclined, that is so totally okay too. Write the description. Okay? But it doesn't always start out just being able to go, boom, I got this. Or send me a picture and I'm going to tell you all about, what's going on in the house. I mean, can that happen sometimes? Yeah. Have I done that? Yeah. It doesn't happen every time. And if someone says it does, they're lying. Might want to think about that. Just telling you. But it doesn't have to be this big, huge spectacle in order for it to be valid. Okay? And there might be a million questions somebody has about their home. And about, hi, Thomas. There might be a million questions somebody has about their home. They might, really have, a whole lot going on and want to know, but Spirit might only give you one answer. And that might be the only answer they're allowed to have in order to figure out the situation themselves. Let me read this. This is Kat here. I got a message and immediately wrote it down so that I could pass it along to the person as accurately as possible. 100% correct. And Mark was right, too. If you're trying to legitimately, better yourself, turn off the damn TV, because they ain't getting it right. Sorry. I've seen so few shows, where I'm comfortable with how they do things. And for those who think that people who aren't on shows are jealous of people who have them, done it. I'm good. Even turned them down. I'm good. So, I just had to throw that in there. Not all of us want fame. Not all of us. I write books. I enjoy that. Y'all buy those if you want to make me happy. Keep putting those wonderful reviews on there. I love you for it. All that does is inspire me to continue writing. So, which is what I'm going to be doing. Well, I'm already doing now for the 4th book, but it's going to be pretty fucking awesome, I'll tell you that. I love the fact that what I actually do gets me to travel. Get to go places people wouldn't normally go. So that's my catty moment for the day. But as far as remote viewing goes, you have to find what works best for you as an individual. I mean, it really is that simple. I can tell you all day long, how I do it. And hope that inspires or educates in a certain way. And I don't mind doing that. I will absolutely do that. And I will answer any questions as quickly as I can when they're sent to me. But my hope, and I said this on the show, I know, Mark, right? Anyway, I said this on our show the other night. I said, I want y'all to put people like me out of business. I do. I don't make my living at this. I don't have the heart for that. I can't do that. I got a job. I have a career. I'm a career woman. I'm educated. So, I don't have to do this. But what I do of it put me out of business. I want y'all to start trusting yourselves. I want you to start believing in yourself. I want you to find out what works best for you and trust your gut. I want you to not have to go, to questionable people to get information. Now, for those you trust, like, certain people trust me, and so they'll come to me and ask me, can you validate this feeling for me? Do you know anything about it? And I will do the best I possibly can. But I love, love, love the fact that they're learning to trust themselves. That's all I want. Okay, let's see here. What did Kat write? Hey, Vanessa, do you get your messages at any time or only when you are deliberately opening yourself up to it? Me, I get a message when I was cleaning the litter boxes. It used to be 24/7, but I have learned to a certain degree that when I'm at work, just because of situations that have happened at work, I have learned that I have to shield myself a certain degree because I'm working on patients. I have a lot of patients I see every day. So I can't take my time away from them. I work on children. They need my attention at that time. However, there are many instances when the spirit that's trying to come through needs to come through so desperately that they actually break past my barrier. Now, I could throw a big freaking shield up if I wanted to, and nothing's getting through that. But I also know that there are certain times that has to get in there. Ashley, I'm a pediatric dental assistant. I work in pediatrics. I work on children. So and every aspect of it. And I've done it for 18 years. I have actually I've specialized in the last 18 years in oral surgery, maxillofacial surgery, endodontics. The only thing I haven't done is orthodontics. I haven't done ortho. I don't put braces on kids, but everything else from children to adults I do. But I'm primarily a pediatric dental assistant. Oh wow! Patients, yes, patients. My little kiddos that I work on. And yes, Tammy says, yeah, I'm a mom. I got the best kid in the world. So, I get to all this stuff when I can. I do the best I can. I don't have time all the time like I wished I did. But I do primarily block while I'm at work just because my job requires my full attention. I can't be working on a kid and then have all these things coming at me, and then mess up what I'm doing. I don't want to do that. My patients need me. Any other time of the day, I'm free game. I'm free game. From the time I leave work to the time I go to work in the morning. So, I don't sleep a lot. I don't get real good sleep, but I'm aware of that. I already know that going in. I already know that this is my life. I don't choose to make a ton of money at it. I don't choose to gouge people and make them fear spirits just so they'll pay me more money. I don't do that. I have anywhere from 10 to 50 private messages a day, answering questions. I get phone calls every day. Every day. Emails every day. All of which I answer as best I can. I get to them as quickly as I can, and I don't charge for that. I charge for readings, and that's it. And that's my choice. If you don't like it, that's fine, Hi, Goose. And I know there's questions in here that I can't get to, and I do apologize. Let's see here, Mark. Does it take a higher spiritual calling to help with your gifts as far as how you commune with the dead? That is actually a very good question. That's a very good question. And thank you, Ashley. Hi, Jen. I don't reach out for a specific God or deity. They just come. Hi, Teresa, darling. I just don't. I do have spiritual guides, but I really don't call on them unless it's absolutely necessary, because I figure that they have given me this particular knowledge, and so I best know how to use it by this point, And I mean, it's taken me years. It's taken me years to really, truly understand what I'm dealing with and how I should deal with it and what works best for me. And that's why I'm really understanding and really patient with those who come to me, because I know how hard it is, And Mark, sure, anytime, hun. Now, my next 2 weeks are nutty, okay? But yeah, you just let me know when, okay? But yeah, you have to find your, like I said, what works for you. Some things that I do won't be what works for others, but it's all based on comfort level. That's one thing that really needs to be expressed as well, is when you're talking about speaking with spirit, whether it's a single or multiples, it can be an extremely uncomfortable situation, because when you're just really starting out and just getting your feet wet, you don't really know what you're walking into. And that's scary, I mean, it really is. And it's something that it's a responsibility that we take on, because when that door is kicked open in order for others to come through and be able to communicate with us, you can't say, okay, only the good ones, only the good ones can come through. It doesn't work that way. So you have to be prepared for things not so good that might come through. And you have to be prepared for things not so good that might want to stay a while. You have to be prepared to be a bit of a bitch when it comes to putting boundaries up. And it took me a very, very, very long time to do that. Now, I know that I'm sitting here telling everybody, and I mean it, trust yourself, start to find out what works for you. Try all different ways. Don't be shy, okay? Don't feel stupid. Don't worry about making a mistake, because that's how we learn. But I will still, and Mark, you must be psychic, because I was getting ready to answer this question before you wrote it. He put, what is the worst thing a new empath, medium, etc. can do when learning about their gifts? I'm going to tell you that. It's exactly what I was going to tell you. Channeling. Worst thing you can do. By far. The absolute worst thing you can do. Do I still do it? Yep. Do I want y'all to do it? Nope. Okay? I don't want you to. And yeah, watch who your peers are, Tammy. Damn fucking straight. Listen to your gut. Don't do me. Listen to your fucking gut. And put the kibosh on that shit straight up. Should have done that a while back. Anyway. But yeah, you just don't channel. Don't invite them in to you. Okay? I still do it. I always will. But it scares me. It scares me. And by channeling, a little detail for those who may not know. This is actually, okay, here you go, Ashley, this is for you too. What I mean by channeling is if I am not shielded, if I am allowing spirit to not only communicate with me, but to communicate through me. And Teresa, mine happened on accident to begin with, and then I just learned how to master it. So yeah, it's frightening. It's more frightening at first to those watching it because you don't know what's going on. So for y'all, I'm 45 years old. I would be 46 in March. I just saw for the first time ever myself channeling on video. I got to witness it. But the reason that I'm saying that it's dangerous is because when I channel for me, okay, when I'm letting them speak through me and not to me, to where I can just relay it, they're in me, and I go away. So yes, Mark, it's a bit like possession. It truly is. Y'all have heard me say this on many shows. I had one in me that had me running for 18 blocks in New Orleans. Running for 18 blocks. I ended up 18 blocks away from where I was, had no fucking idea how I got there. You know, oh, that's okay, Katie, darling. It's all in here, okay? It's all in here, and you're so very welcome. But yeah, like I said, they had me running for 18 blocks. One of them on a different trip had me trying to break into Jacques Saint Germain's home in New Orleans. Totally different groups I was with that got to witness this. I have no recollection. So every account that's written about in my books about it are the people who was with me, eyewitness accounts. I have no memory. So never will. Never will. That's one of the reasons why in this last book I actually put eyewitness accounts. Let's see here. You didn't say anything at the time. What do you mean, darling? Oh no, not this New Orleans trip. Not this New Orleans trip. The one that we just had. These were other trips. But it did happen to me on this last trip, just on a much smaller scale, because I've learned how to control that a bit. New Orleans, that just kind of jumps in me. But I have learned. But yeah, it's, and that can happen, y'all. This is what's weird. This is what y'all need to know. This can actually happen when you're remote viewing. You don't have to be on location. You don't. That is what is very, very, very funny, is I have actually had it happen when I have been remote viewing for teams overseas. On a smaller scale, because it does take a lot of energy for them to do that. But for the most part, it does happen when you're on location. So if you're doing remote, I know, Teresa, girlfriend, it's going to be awesome in November. Hey, we're going to have so much fun. So much fun. For reals, okay? Paranormal slumber party, bitches. Yeah, Teresa, remote viewing is amazing. Honestly, y'all, this is what a lot of people don't know, is that most of the beginning of my time doing this, I did via remote viewing. I didn't go on location. I had a very young son, and I didn't like to leave him to go do that. And I sure as fuck wasn't going to take him with me. Okay? Not until he got much older. And so I did most of mine via remote viewing. Matter of fact, quite a few of the friends that I have on Facebook, that's how they met me, because the team that I was helping investigated their homes, and I was the remote viewer for the cases before they even knew who I was. And so, and they're still with me all this time later. 7, 8, 9 years later. So, but so it's, and here's the other thing, and I know it's going to sound really, really crazy, and Katie, this one's for you, darling, because this was your question. When you're remote viewing, when you're getting ready for a case or doing a case, it's, you have to let rationale go. Okay? Sorry, I got a burp. I try to be quiet about it. You have to let rationale go. When you get an image, when something comes to you and it seems so fucking bizarre that you're like, there is no way. There is no way that is associated with this area that I'm supposed to be viewing for. Write it down anyway. Please. Write it down anyway. I've told y'all, I've told on shows, and I don't know if I've told it on here or not, but I'll tell you real quick. One of the, that is awesome, Teresa. You'll have to let me know. One of the strangest, absolute strangest remote viewing cases I ever worked on was about this place called El Dorado, and it's here in Oklahoma. I didn't know where it was. I knew they were coming to pick me up. El Dorado could have been Oklahoma, could have been Kansas, could have been Texas. I didn't have any fucking clue, because I never know when I'm going, because I don't drive. I drive, but I don't drive to locations. Well, in the 2 weeks that I had meditated and remote viewed for wherever it was they were taking me, I drew 2 houses that looked like they were built 75 to 100 years apart. I drew 3 crosses in 3D, one on top of the other. Drew cats everywhere. There was very strange, like, chihuahuas in clothing, and all this weird shit that made no sense to me. Well, we get to the property, and we take a ride onto the street that we're going on. Street is lined with cats, all staring across the street at this one house. The 2 houses I drew, one was on the other side of the street, facing the house we were going to. The other was kitty corner on the other side of the street, facing the house we were going to. 2 houses built 75 to 100 years apart, right there, facing the house we were going into. The 3 crosses that I saw as barrettes on the back of this woman's head in a meditative dream was actually the shingles on the roof of this house that had separated to make 3 perfect 3D crosses on the back of this house. And the chihuahuas in clothing that I saw when I, in this meditative dream state, when I was viewing that way, that I saw in the dressing room of a Target. I told y'all this shit don't make no sense. They were the homeowner's dogs. So it doesn't have to make sense for it to be valid. So when you are getting these images, when they're coming to you and they make no sense, write it down. Write it down. It doesn't matter if it makes sense to you. It's irrelevant. You are simply a conduit. Your opinion of the situation, for the most part, is irrelevant. You're a conduit. You pass along information. That's all you do. If you have to interpret to a certain degree, that's fine. But for the most part, keep your opinion out of it. A remote viewer is exactly that. You're a viewer. You're not a remote opinionated person. Okay? Write it down. Draw it out. Keep your personal opinions out of it. Be respectful to the images coming to you. Don't try to alter them to make you more comfortable. Anyone who's read my second book knows this. It was remote viewing for a place in Sheffield, England. And it's one of the reasons why I tell people, if you have young children, don't let them look. Hi, Rachel, darling. Don't let them read my second book, Giving Up the Ghost. Because in that book, there are images I had to draw that are very uncomfortable. Let's see, Teresa. So what if it doesn't make sense to you? Message is not meant for you. Boom, Teresa. Boom. Mic drop. Walks away like a fucking boss. True story. Because they're not our messages. We just relay them. I had to draw a woman. Part of my remote viewing was a woman that was hung and she was quartered. They had cut off her arms and her legs. And in the picture, in Giving Up the Ghost, you can see her hanging, her naked body hanging, and her arms and her legs are lying on the ground. Now, that made me extremely uncomfortable to draw. Extremely uncomfortable to draw. However, I would have been very dishonest had I not have related exactly as it was shown to me. Exactly. Now, another thing that's in that particular book, and this, I got this image years before I met the guys from MP Paranormal. Years before I even knew the Derby Gaol existed. Okay? Which is a jail. A gaol is a jail. Gaol, but it's really jail. That's just what they call them over there. But I'd had this imagery come to me, kind of during another meditative state / dream situation, and it was of death masks. It was, and they partially look like death masks. They partially look like those, like the old theater masks of the happy and the sad. You know what I mean? It was really, really interesting. I had no idea what they meant. Had no idea. They went in the book anyway. I was very honest, Did not know what they meant until the guys at NP Paranormal went to the Derby Gaol and did a live stream that I remote viewed for them. Guess what was in that gaol? A box with the death masks in them. I saw those death masks years before I met the guys at MP Paranormal. Yet there they were. They didn't even know they were there. They had no idea. So never question it. Never question it. Write it down. Like Teresa said, it's not for us to judge. It's not for us to judge. Not at all. We are simply to relay information. Yes, Carrie, the comedy and the tragedy, yeah. Like that and like death masks, like a combination of the two. It's very, very bizarre. Very strange. But yeah, it's just, you just got to get past the ego, Exactly right, Lorna. You got to get past the ego and just realize, what? This isn't, it's not glamorous. It's not. It's not glamorous at all. You're going to feel some really uncomfortable shit. You're going to hear some really not good stuff. But if you want to do this and you want to do it right, you got to go with it. I had to switch hands. My other hand was getting numb. Sorry. You just got to go with it. Again, you got to trust yourself. Let's see, for some reason I feel like I get the children cases more than anything. Then, of course, I have the few ugly guys. It isn't uncommon, Katie, for somebody who has a presence like yourself to get the children to come to you. They're going to go where they feel comfortable. Okay? I myself had that quite a bit when I was younger. As I've gotten older, and I'm not really sure why this is the case. I guess it's because, for the most part, you couldn't meet a less judgmental person. You really couldn't than me. I don't really judge people. You can ask anybody who knows me that I am, even if I can't stand a person. Like, I have a dear friend who's soon to be ex-husband. I cannot stand. Can't stand him. But on the times when I felt he was right, I would say, nope, you're wrong and he's right. Because I'm always playing devil's advocate. Just because I don't like you doesn't mean that I can't see your point if it's accurate and valid. So I have taken that quality and I'm using it in the remote viewing and in the spirit communication that I do. So it is not uncommon for me to have situations where you might be at a location where people have had a lot of really angry spirits, or they've had a lot of difficulty in communicating and it seems really nasty and really negative, and I won't have that experience because I'm not judging them. And I'm not saying others are. I'm not saying others are judging them. It's just, for whatever reason, even if you were a murderer in a past life, you've done your time, or you're dead. My judgment on your act or whatever act it was that led to your death is irrelevant. So what I want to do and what my job is to better understand how I can help that person and anybody else that might have been affected. I mean, is there a way for me to help whomever they hurt by getting their information? Let's see here, Mark. What do you do when there's two or more strong spirits coming forward? How do you focus on one or the other? Very good question. Very good question. And it took me a while to figure this one out. I had to find my cojones, you know what I mean? Basically, I pull out that old slap a bitch. I'm like, dude, chill. When I know which one I need to speak to first, because it's kind of a innate feeling. You kind of know. You know which one you're drawn to first, which one. Shut up, Cha-Cha. Mama's doing this. Simmer down. Little butthead, get up here and lay down. Get up here. You kind of know, you're kind of drawn to a particular energy. So one can go on the back burner. And if they don't like to listen, then I will straight up pull out that old slap a bitch. I'm like, I can cut you off right now. You need me as much as I need you. So they'll back off a little bit. They will. But it's hard. It was hard to learn that, and like I said, I kind of had to find my own little set of brass balls to do that, because for the longest time I was actually afraid that they would quit coming to me if I did that. I was see, I have to chat with you about a spirit attachment I had in the past. It's in the book too. Oh fuck yeah, I want to know. Oh Lorna, Cha-Cha apologizes. She does. Yes, you apologize, don't you? You butthead. But yeah, I mean, I did. I had to find my own little balls, and learn that it's okay to tell them back off. It's okay, because they will come back, and if they don't, here you go, Mark. If they don't back off, that shield can go up like that, and ain't nothing getting through. And I know now that I can do that. I can. Hell, Mark, they've caught my shield on an aura photo. Yeah, I have physical evidence of my shield. I have photographic physical evidence of my shield. I'll get the pictures and I'll send them to you. I'll post them. But because I've posted it before, but just as a refresher. But yeah, it's I finally had to realize, and it took a while for me to realize, that I can block them all out if one won't leave me alone, and and then they'll come back. And trust me, there's plenty to fill the spots if they don't. Okay, have I ever gotten a message from someone at the same time as someone else? Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Well, hold it. Do you mean as somebody else, like not a dead person? Now, okay, yeah. So yes on both. I've gotten messages from two dead people at the same time. And I've also gotten messages at the same time. Gwen has gotten messages in Virginia. So that's crazy. And that's actually happened with me and Jana a lot too. No shit. So yeah, it does happen. Do you channel your inner chakra or enforce your existing aura? That's actually a really good question. I am like the least technical person on this you'll ever meet. I just do what works for me. I don't really know. When it comes to like shielding, okay. Oh yeah, all the time, Kat. And I gotta kind of weed through them a little bit and figure out who they go to. It can be a pain in the ass. It truly can. As far as shielding goes, Mark, for me, what works for me, if I'm going to shield, is the one thing I hate most in this world is spiders. I can't stand them. Hate them. But a spider web works the best as a shield for me. I start from the tip of my toes and encase myself in a web, leaving only my face open. Because generally, if I'm going to get jumped, I get jumped from behind. So, because they can't jump me if I can see them coming. So, which is kind of interesting. Let's see here. Yes, Joyce, please. Yes, I'll remind you. I need to make it out there to see you. Okay? After this, I've got to do Daily Tarot for Haunted Road Media so it can go on Alexa. So I'll have to shut down after this. But yeah, so I mean, it's just, I mean, it took me years to find out truly what works for me. And I try to share that knowledge as much as I possibly can. But in doing so, I want people to be comfortable in finding what works for them. You know, it's totally okay to take, you know, to do what I do, but tweak it for you. You know, find your comfort level, find what makes it, a better transition for you, and do it that way. Let's see here. Well, little known secret about me, I always seem to find the one. Hun, preach. Right there with you. I hate those fuckers. But anyway, I hope that this answered the questions. My arms are getting tired, and I got to do my tarot. So, and now Michelle comes on. I hate that you're going to miss it, love. Oh, but I got to get going. I got to do this. But I love y'all. Y'all are a bunch of awesome fuckers. And, and I love doing live feed because I can just curse like shit. So, let's see here. Wants to know if you have been physically ill from your gifts and reading. Hun, yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Matter of fact, I read for, oh, you're welcome, Katie, darling. Hi, Michelle. Mwah! I read one time, for, Julia and Phil's house, Horsefly house. And in the middle of the reading, I had to get up and go throw up. True story. You can ask Phil. I had to get up and go throw up. You know, oh, y'all are so welcome. You're so welcome. It's, you know, and when you channel, or when you're just taking a lot of it into yourself and they make you feel the pain, that can make you really sick. That can make you really, really, really sick. And that's not fun. So, again, another one of the reasons when I tell y'all, you know, I might do it, please don't do it, it's because I love you. Doesn't mean I don't love me too, but I'm kind of stuck in this now. It's kind of my thing, you know. So if you can get all this other information without putting yourself through that, you know, then I would really like that. And Ashley, yes, I want to be there. Love you, Lorna. I want to go to Canada. I'm going to go to Canada. By the way, y'all, can you tell the double chin's going away? Look at it. Check it out. See? Go me. But my little scars show now underneath there. I had my head stuck in a German Shepherd's mouth when I was 2, so I have all these scars under here and on the back of my head. So, anyway, oh, love you, Michelle. But y'all, I gotta go. I have to go do my tarot. I gotta do it for the next week. So, and send that to Mike. But I love you guys. Y'all have an absolutely awesome night. I hope this helped. And I'll try to get better about getting on here and answering more questions, just so, you know, we kind of stay abreast of the situation and move forward in the right direction. So, you guys are the best. Mwah! Big kisses. Hi, Charlotte. Bye, y'all.